Hello everyone, this is Grandmaster Var Akobian with 1000 GM, and we're doing a recap video of the round number 6 of the 2022 Sinquefield Cup tournament. Again, the big chess drama was in round number 4 when Magnus Carlsen withdrew from a tournament after losing his round number 3 game against Hans Niemann. And a lot of drama, a lot of press, headlines of the newspapers are all talking about this incident. And now let's get back to the chess game. We had a very bloody round. 3 out of the 4 games were decisive in this round. The bloodiest round we had. Levon Aronian winning with the white pieces against Maxim Vachier-Lagrave. Firouzja with the white pieces turning the position completely around against Mamediaro, winning the game. And then we have Wesley So winning with a black piece against Hans Niemann. And the only game that ended in a draw is a game Nepomniachtchi against Caruana. Wesley So was the leader of the tournament before this round. He had played one extra game and he was playing Hans Niemann. And this is a big clash here, and this is going to be our highlight game of this round. Wesley So winning this game and taking a huge step to try to win this tournament, and with that he will also win the Grand Chess Tour 2022 and a grand prize of $100,000 in addition to the first prize of this tournament. So he is very close, and he's got 2 more games left. Basically, he's in a great position. But on the other hand, Alireza Firouzja winning the position against Mamediarov, and now only half a point behind Wesley So, and he still has 3 more games to play. All right, guys, let's take a look at this game. Hans is playing with the white pieces. He opened up with e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6. Wesley plays a very solid line. He's generally happy with the black pieces to make a draw. So it's not like he was trying really to win with the black pieces, despite the difference of almost 90 points in rating. So, and he admitted in a press conference that, he would have been happy with a draw here. So Hans goes for this d4 line, and he got a very solid position. I actually liked his position at some point. Knight b2, knight d6, knight bishop f4. This has still been played before, and sometimes white plays c3 here, but it's not that necessary because knight b4 you can just simply go queen d1 and then kick the knight. So knight goes on c7, and here is the first move, a new move of the game, b3, a novelty, new move never been played before. By looking at the clock situation, looks like Hans wasn't as familiar with the opening as Wesley, because Wesley has 134 and Hans 113. So he has been spending some time. If we go back a little bit, so he hasn't been thinking long, but he has been thinking like on all these moves. Like that means he wasn't specifically prepared against this variation, because he's taking 5, 6, 4 moves on every move. So they get to this position, 94, and in this position, actually, this bishop actually became a problem for Wesley. So it was possible. It was possible in this position to play the move bishop takes d6. Bishop takes d6. g3. Simply restricting the knight and the bishop, and then continuing with the plan of c4. That's the idea. Was played with b3. But he played the move bishop b5, which is okay. 94 comes in. I'm not sure about this move. Now c4, putting pressure. And here, knight f6. I felt after this maneuvering, white should be a little bit better here, because black is spending lots of time moving the knight around. Again, in this position, there was some other lines he could have played. He could have played, for example, the move bishop b4, hitting the rook e1, and f6. And the bishop is a problem here. Bishop goes on g3, queen d7, and bring the rook into the game. Again, it's a playable position, but once again, I'm not sure if I really want this bishop here. That's why I wouldn't have mind taking on d6. But there's going to be another opportunity for him to do that. So he plays rook ad1. It's an okay move. Again, it's hard to tell whether or not the rook is going to be quite useful in this position on d1. He could have also played the move g3 in this position. And at some point after g3, you can take on f6. You don't have to worry about the knight f4 coming in. So g3, g3. Okay, in this position, if he wanted to just to equalize the game and sort of make a draw, he could have just simply played bishop f6, bishop takes f6, c takes d5. If you take with the pawn after queen b5, I think you're going to be in trouble because the b7 is hanging on d5. So you have two weaknesses. And if he plays knight f4, queen e4 attacking the knight, knight d5, and we will get this endgame, which is just going to be equal here. Neither side can do much here. It's just equality. So this was the line. If he just wanted to simplify and say, you know what, too much stress, too much stuff going on, let me just simplify and just make a draw here. But Hans is playing for a win, and that's why I plays g3. a6, and again, it's not too late to take that knight. You don't have the queen b5 option anymore, so it's a little bit less attractive to do it. But I think still taking on f6 would have been the best option for him. And this next move is certainly an inaccuracy, h4. Sorry, rook e2. Yeah, and here he played h4. This is certainly an inaccuracy. There are going to be some problems after this. So all he had to do in this position is take, get rid of that knight, and now you don't have knight f4 because it's covered. Now you take, and now you just go knight g4, putting pressure on the bishop. Bishop goes here, rook d1. Now you go knight e5. Now you have some ideas there. I mean, it's a very comfortable position here, and I think it's just about equal here. But if anybody better here, it's just going to be white. Okay, marginally better. It's just going to be white for sure. But that didn't happen here, and he spent not too much time actually. This is interesting. He played it kind of quickly. He's at 57 minutes, and he played the move h4, which, you know, it's really questionable because knight goes on h5. Now this h5 stuff never works, and now you have to deal with a very serious threat, f6, attacking the bishop, and the question is, where are you going to go? And here it was time for him to spend a lot of time, and he did spend over 20 minutes here, 23 minutes to exact, and he found an okay move, take. But here the next one was, in order to equalize, he had to find this really remarkable idea, but it's more of a computer idea, so it's very hard to find b4. The point being is, if you take simply queen b3, now your bishop is under attack, and I'm threatening knight takes d5. Okay, well, that's not good. So you can always play f6 still, but against f6 is just very interesting move, queen b3. The point is to attack on d5, takes, knight takes d5, and now there's all kinds of problems here for black. The diagonal is hanging everything. You go here and then simply d takes c5, opening up the d file. Now knight f6 is a serious threat. I mean, there's just going to be lots of problems here, and I think I really like white's position here. I think white is doing really great here, knight f6, and a lot of pressure. Okay, so but instead of doing that, I mean, he took some time here, but I mean, if he had spotted this move before somehow, it just would have been absolutely incredible. So knight g2, f6 played, attacking the bishop, bishop b8. It's an interesting idea because if you take the bishop, after bishop b8, if you take the bishop, then it's going to be really nice for white. Taking this is just equalizing right away. So it goes king f7. And now the problem is the bishop is stuck. No good squares to go to. You don't want to put on f4 because then you're going to get double pawns. So g4 is played. You're going to see that this entire game is going to be based on that h4 move. One really bad move, and throughout the whole game, you're suffering. So takes, knight f4, take, and take, and it looks like it shouldn't be that bad, but it's actually pretty bad because the queen is on f4 very active, and you have a lot of weaknesses. Your h4 pawn is especially very weak, and the d4 pawn. Rook d1, bishop d6. Wesley was suggesting a line here. Yeah, he was saying Take. Yeah, I don't. It was which line he was? Okay, knight f4. Yeah, take on g4. And a problem is, yeah, you don't have this h5 idea. This you don't have that h5. So double up the rooks. Yeah, I think it was here. Bishop d6, and decide to take, liquidating the position. Queen g4, very important, because otherwise, if you take, you're just going to drop the pawn on g6, and you're just going to be losing actually. So we reached this position here, and I want to kind of pause here and let you think a little bit. Again, the big problem for white is the pawn on h4 and the pawn on d4. These pawns are quite weak, and there is a dark square bishop, so it's going to be easier for attack. Again, if we push this pawn back to h3, put the king on h3, it's just going to be absolutely fine. But with the pawn on h4, it's just a big problem we see here. So it goes a4. And this move is also questionable. I'm not sure if I love this move, because sometimes when you commit this kind of move in the endgames, your b3 pawn becomes weak. So you have to be careful pushing the pawns. King f7. King d7 was another possibility. And now critical moment here. And here Wesley started to play inaccurately here. So far he's played a brilliant game. And here he has to simply find this move bishop b4, which is going to restrict white's pieces here. And it's very tough, because let's say you go here, queen f5, now threatening some queen c2 ideas. Now king comes in. It's all about the activity of the king. Takes, king takes. Now king g4 is coming. Look at that, bishop d6. And again, activity of the king is going to help black to win the game here. Yeah, he didn't play bishop before. I played here. This is not that great. Queen here. And queen e4. It seems like he's almost holding, and now king g2 played. Knight e1 would have been a good move. In this position, I think it's very important to try to get the knight active. So it doesn't matter about this pawn. He can check. It doesn't matter, because you're getting activities. Then you're going to get this. You're going to get this. You're finally not just defending pawns. You're getting active. And I think this was very, very important for Niemann to do. You know, just he was too worried about that h4 pawn. If you can give up that pawn, get the queen in, and you start threatening. Okay, so that was very important to try to get activity. Right, he went here. Bishop d3, d6. Yeah, and this going back here again. Just put the knight on e1. Don't tie yourself up. King goes back to d7. And what is it going to do? That's going to just simply stop all your counterplay. You had an entry point there on c8, and now the final move, final mistake after which his position is just simply lost. Here, your knight is passive. You got to get the knight in and see if you can get that knight on c3. Okay, see if you can force this trade so you can king come into the game. Okay, something like this. This is absolutely fine. King is sitting on f3 here. So, and here was just inexplicable. He just played king e2. You gotta put that knight on e2, and then you have decent chances to hold. But now he played here, bishop h2, forcing a knight there, and now after this move, forcing to trade. And now this is just lost because king is coming closer. d4 pawn is weak, h4 pawn is weak, and bishop is stronger than a knight. Here, actually, I was a little bit surprised he played bishop b8. It makes a lot of sense to put the bishop on h6 to cut the knight off like this. I didn't quite get what he was afraid of, and now I just f5. And position just plays by itself, you know. Bishop here, bishop here, just simply winning. He actually went bishop b8. It's still a good move. It's just a little bit different approach and attack from this side. Yeah, you don't want to play knight c2 because knight c2 just bishop b6, f5, bishop d8. You're gonna drop the h4 pawn. That problem h4 pawn. So I went for d5. Knight g2. Again, you don't want to take because there's a knight f4 trick, so king e5. Now take, again, ready to come back. Now extra pawn and a bishop is stronger than a knight. That's the problem. Because here actually some e3 ideas coming. E3 takes bishop e3 and then you push the g pawn. So that's why I had to go here. Again, it's important not to rush because if you play e3, then take, maybe you can put the king on g2, some drawing chances. So first go here. And now you pass the turn, opponent has to move. Yeah, if you'd say you go here, yeah, look at this knight. This knight is getting caught off now. And you might just try to drop it. Okay. So you decided to come here, but that allows king f3. And now check. If you check from here, just simply king f4. You don't have knight d3, I take. Go here, just simply here. And it's winning extra 2 pawns. So you actually play knight 2 check. And the problem now here is king f4, giving you the bishop back. And after take, e3, winning the knight, and then king f3, and just simply promoting the g pawn. So yeah, very tough loss for Hans in this game. Yeah, he didn't play it well here, and Wesley just played very strong positionally. And again, the big problem in this game was that move h4. Okay, in a middle game, you have to be very careful pushing your pawns, because once you do that, then there's no going back. That pawn cannot go backwards, and it became a big weakness that you had to deal with. Once again, I'm talking about the move number h4 here, move 20. Just take on f6. If you want to just equalize, take, and as the line I showed you, just play solid and safe chess. And knight g goes to e5, and I don't think he would lose this position. But yeah, he misplayed it, and then Wesley played a great game and converted this, and he's looking really, really good for Wesley So here. If he wins this tournament, he'll have a great chance to win the whole Grand Chess Tour. Thank you guys for watching this game. Tune in tomorrow. Make sure for the recap number of the round number 7, and please make sure you like and subscribe to 1000 GM channel. It will help us to grow and bring you more instructive materials like this. Thank you guys, and see you tomorrow.